So was anybody selling before Dom? Like, was it you or was it Craig?
So we were, but we weren't like selling aggressively. And I guess the way we sort of approached it is we prioritized having a large user base over large revenue in the beginning. So like we didn't care so much to, be getting like hundreds of K in ARR and like only 100 users or something on the system. We cared way more like we'd rather have a world in the first year where we had zero revenue, but like, 1,000 users. And like mostly because we wanted like a right to learn and we came from like no background of it. So that was like our initial goal, which is kind of like what ended up happening. But
how do you feel about that decision? Because I'll share a bit of context and then I'd love your feedback and then we'll throw to Dom.
Yeah.
I have a theory that they're not customers until they've actually given you some money. And I've experimented with a ton of free products, and you do the customer development, you build a little thing, you give it them for free, and then the usage is terrible because you get a bunch of people that, just agreed to use it because it was free. I like to ask for a little bit of money so that at least there's some skin in the game. And then I'll get fewer, instead of 1,000 users, I'll get, 300 users, but I'll get 300 users that'll give me $5 a month, and I eventually want to charge $100. I'm curious, you all did it a different direction. How did that go? And then let's bring Dom into the story.
For sure. So I think the reason I don't particularly, I guess, regret it is I regret it to some extent. I don't fully regret it, but I regret it to some extent. I'll say a measured approach. I think
you
in
learned,
the beginning,
right?
You've
evolved.
Yeah. So I think in the beginning it was necessary just because we didn't have any like domain knowledge. Like we were literally at the time solving for, I want to be in like 100 user system so I could learn what's going on. Like that was like, we were like on the goal of like learning over like, let's like make money off this product.
Yeah.
I think what we deluded ourselves in early on is, once we crossed, say like the 100, 200th user that was using it actively, we were like, hey, let's get to 1,000 instead of like, let's charging for it. And I think that came from a place of nervousness. And that place of nervousness was because we knew the product wasn't good enough to charge for money, or maybe we felt that. And this, I think, is a problem a lot of first-time founders fall into, which is you're very uncertain if this thing should be like charged money for or like significant cash for it. And so you don't charge for it. And then you get stuck on a treadmill of not doing that. Honestly, the big break in that was we brought Dom on and Dom was like, hey guys, and this is like to me, we just wanted like to build great software that a lot of people loved and used. And I think Dom's big push to us was like, let's charge significant money for this, like to make it worth our time. And like, I give him a lot of credit for like pushing us in that direction. But like the real honest answer is in the beginning, it was necessary, but we probably deluded ourselves for like 6 months or so. And not doing it early enough.
I think it did bring a lot of goodwill though. A lot of people, on LinkedIn, everybody we talk to, they always tell us how like we give so much product out for free. Like it's unbelievable. The amount of like value they get, at least nowadays, right? With like our entire product suite. Of how much value they get from just like the free version of Trellus. And then once we, get them into the actual paid version of Trellus, they're like, wow, like this is even better, But yeah, I think it did build up a lot of like trust and goodwill with the sales community, just being able to be like a